Yo, what is going on, you guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the pros and cons of totems being removed. Now, this was something that just recently happened yesterday, October 19th. Super abrupt. Nexon just put out a Maple memo saying that totems are going to be completely removed from the game, and a lot of people had a lot of things to say, mostly negative, but I think that, you know, everyone's initial thoughts are obviously going to be a lot more inflated. You're going to have more things to say when you're getting a change. Don't get me wrong, like, this is a massive change for the game. Everyone's been used to this, you know, it's just something that's been a part of the game, and to have it be removed, like, I can see why people are a little upset, but just hold in there for a little bit, like, let this change happen, let this change sink in, and really take a step back and think of like the good things that are going to come from this change, not only the negatives. I feel like people focus on way too much on the negatives. A lot of positives that come from this change. We're going to compare the pros and we're going to compare the cons in today's video. First, we're going to start with the pros of this change. Honestly, it does make the game a lot more healthy. I'm gonna tell you why. To have to sit down for like a 2-hour session, like, for a lot of people and a lot of newer players, it's a lot, bro. When I first came back to this game, I was like, why do I have to sit here for 2 hours? Like, why can't I just sit and do this for 30 minutes? So I think that not having to sit down for a whole 2-hour session is just overall, like, it's really healthy for the game, bro. Like, it really is. To not feel like you have to really sit and slave away for 2 hours, pop a totem, and then like really optimize your rates for that whole 2 hours and like sweat to make sure you're getting the most out of that totem. Like, you're not gonna have to do that anymore. You're not gonna have to feel like pressure to go crazy when you're toteming, which I think is a good thing. If you lag or DC, it's not the worst feeling in the world. Like, I remember when you would DC on a popular map or whatever, and you'd be on a totem, that was the worst feeling in the world. So now you're not gonna have to worry about that anymore. You're not gonna have to like fight over maps, which goes on to the next point. You don't have to be a literal meta slave anymore. Obviously, there's still gonna be meta maps, like, that's always will be a thing, but there's not gonna be the maps like 1.5, 2.5, 1.4 that are just packed all day long and have like spreadsheets attached to them. You know what I mean? Like, that's not gonna, I don't think that's gonna be a thing anymore. Obviously, there's always metas in games. Now, with this change, it opens up the entire game / maps, because, like, let's be real, none of the other maps in this game were used ever. And what's the point of having all the maps if no one's gonna use them anyways? I think it's cool that it opens up more accessibility now. People are gonna have to like go and try out new things. It's gonna, honestly, it's gonna feel like a new game again. So I feel like people should be excited about that. Another pro, people can't get like massively ahead. And this is more of like an end game thing, but people can't get like extremely ahead because they're just getting like fed totems or they're buying totems. So that's gonna be taken out. So unfortunately, for the players who were getting like 50 totems a month or something, or like more than that, fortunately that's not gonna be a thing, but overall makes the game a better game. And I know it's hard to see that at first, but trust me, it does, and it will make the game a better game. Let's move on to the cons. There are some cons, but we're gonna get into these cons because I feel like they can be debunked. So obviously, you can't grind as much. I mean, you still can grind a lot, don't get me wrong. If you guys know me and Jake, and you guys would watch the streams, like, we would off totem farm like pretty much all the time, and it wasn't even bad at all. You can still grind as much, but it's, you know, you're not gonna feel like you're grinding because you're not gonna have to pop a totem for 2 hours. You can go grind for an hour, you know, go grab something to eat or go out and then come back and grind for another hour, 3 hours, whatever you want to do. But you don't have to be sitting there for 4 hours, 2 hours, 6 hours, 2-hour intervals at a time now. One thing that sucks about this change is gonna be that experience of being like a newer player and saying, yo, it's time to pop a totem or something, or like that like feeling that you would get, I don't know, when you're about to hit like a grind session. Was like, it was a fun experience. I don't know, hopefully that's still in the game. Like, hopefully you can still say, yo, I'm about to pop a wop, and it feels the same. But back in the day, especially being a newer player and being at like level 2, like sub 220, and being like brand new to the game and about to pop a totem, that was like the best feeling. And it sucks that that's not going to be in the game anymore, but hopefully it's there in a different way. But that feeling, unfortunately, just, it can't be recreated for newer players. But that is one bad change that I will say that does suck. Another con, this does suck, but I think that it'll get better. Newer players are gonna be a little bit behind, and I really don't think that this is the case. If you think back like a year ago, the EXP rates were just so much harder. So I feel like even back in the day on Totem, the rates were worse than what they are nowadays off Totem. And I'm being 100% serious too when I say that. Like, I genuinely believe that a year and a half ago, like, on Totem rates are worse than today without a Totem. So honestly, I think that newer players should be fine. The one thing I can see newer players being behind in is familiars, droplets, and nodes. I really think that they should maybe make a node shop for newer players. Something like there has to be something, you know what I mean? Like we have to figure out some type of situation with nodes, because that is a really big part in the game. To not have nodes or to be like node deprived is honestly it is a really big thing for newer players. So I do agree with that nodes need to be added somewhere, or at least be more accessible. Maybe the drop rate for nodes should be like ×3, you know what I mean? I feel like the drop rate needs to either be enhanced a lot for nodes and droplets, or you just add a shop. One of the two, but there has to be something done with that, because newer players they'll be stuck way far behind for a while if something doesn't get fixed with that. And another con is you don't make as much money. I think that's a really bad argument as well. Like I said, you can find maps in this game where you are making 800 mil an hour off Totem with a WAP and Legion. So again, the whole you don't make as much money, that's just pure being a meta slave and farming at 2.5 and comparing like the rates. I was farming off Totem like a year ago on a Night Lord, like making like 750 mil an hour with WAP in Legion, all that stuff. So I don't think that making money is a really bad argument, because you can make just as much money off Totem as you can on Totem. And I'm not even just saying that just to say it, like you really can. Go find some new maps, go test some rates. You know, there is a BA thing for a reason, but it's not as bad as you guys think. Just it's not gonna be as bad as you guys think. I feel like I'm like your therapist, bro, and like the comment section is a therapy session for you guys. So leave some comments in the comments and I'll answer them. Me and my brother will answer them, and we'll go through like, yo, it's gonna be okay. Also, people were saying like EXP rates are cut in half, misos are cut in half. Like again, it's just not the case. Like they're not gonna be cut in half. It's gonna be like 20% less, which isn't bad. And with this change, they're also making the Star Force 20% lower. I think people are just freaking out about this because like they're just so used to being on Totem. Like they're used to mobs being spawned like 24/7, but like I think they just want to dial it back a little bit and not make it so easy to progress. So I do think that this is a good change. I know a lot of people are going to be mad. I know people are going to be like, how can you say this is a good change? But yeah, I'm gonna miss totems too. Like don't get me wrong, I'm gonna miss popping a totem and like getting some cracked rates or something. But at the end of the day, the rates are going to be fine. You're still going to be able to get some cracked rates at some random maps. I'm excited to see what other changes that they add. You know, when they make a big change like this, they usually are going to start doing a lot more quality of life stuff, adding more stuff in the game, maybe increasing some drop rate. That'd be kind of crazy. Maybe increasing spawn rate. Like who knows? We don't know what they're planning on doing, but just go into it with a positive mindset. Like why are you going to play this game and then be like mad negative about everything that happens? You know, try to be a little bit more positive when big changes like this. Try to see like both sides and try not to just jump to the instant conclusion that this game sucks, we hate this game. Like, well, they're trying. We'll see what happens. But anyways, this was just like a short little chill talking video. I hope you guys did enjoy. As always, leave down in the comment section what you guys think. And this video wasn't supposed to be, it might have sounded like it, but this wasn't supposed to be like me coming at you guys if you're like, oh, I hate that the totems are being removed. I completely understand where you guys are coming from, and I'm not trying to come at you guys, but I am trying to say like, yo, just take a step back and relax a little bit. Like I said, leave some comments. Let's have a discussion in the comment section, and I hope you guys all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.